Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. After looking at quite a few comments, we're going to be starting a new campaign, Armored Fury, on the PACT side. I know you guys wanted NORTHAG, I know you guys wanted me to play PACT again, and I know you wanted heavy tanks, so this seemed like the perfect choice. The date is June 23rd, 1989. Time, day 4, plus 8 hours. Location, Braunschweig, West Germany. With NATO's attention on battles raging further south, the Soviet Third Combined Army springs one of two major offensive thrusts into the NORTHAG area at Hanover. The communist assaults get off to a bad start, as the forward-deployed West German 1st Panzer Division mauls the vanguard made up of Soviet 47th Guards Tank Division near Braunschweig. The British First Corps rushes heavy armour reinforcements and stabilises the Hanover front. With the communists in disarray, the British see a chance to launch a counterattack. Aware of the danger, the Warsaw Pact redirects Polish tank reinforcements to restart the offensive on Hanover. We're of course going to be playing on Elite difficulty. We're going to switch over to the PACT side. Let's get into it.
June 23, 1989, 72 hours into World War III. As the Warsaw Pact's strategic offensive into West Germany continues, initial communist attacks in NORTHAG fix local NATO forces in place. This changes after the devastating left hook attack by the Soviet 1st Guards Army against the 1st Belgian Corps. NATO rushes key reserves to the threatened southern sector, signaling a dramatic increase of Warsaw Pact operations along NORTHAG's front. Two main axes of advance are unleashed, Lüneburg-Bremen in the north, Hanover-Osnabrück in the south. With major NATO formations in Centag believing Fulda to be the main target, instead the Soviets direct the powerful 3rd Combined Army against NORTHAG. However, the Bundeswehr's 1st Panzer Division inflicts heavy damage on the vanguard made up of the Soviet 47th Guards Tank Division, allowing 1st British Corps to regroup in front of Hanover and bring up heavy armored reinforcements. The British see a chance to launch a spoiling counterattack and regain the initiative before fresh Polish armored forces bring a new impetus to the Warsaw Pact's offensive towards Hanover.
Товарищ генерал, наступление на Ганновер столкнулось с серьезными задержками. Наши танкисты терпят одно поражение за другим, и мы теряем темп. Это недопустимо. Что еще хуже? Разведка сообщает, что британцы готовят немедленную контратаку с тяжелыми танками. Нам нужно атаковать, а не обороняться. Товарищ майор!
Товарищ генерал, мы находимся в идеальной для танкового боя местности. Наши польские союзники направили нам мощные танковые силы из 2-й армии, но они прибудут значительно позже. До тех пор нам нужно вернуть честь советской армии, отбить англо-германскую контратаку и сразу захватить Ганновер. Удачи, товарищ генерал.
They're being thrown in with the first turn. Alright, we've got a lot to go through here. There's a decent chunk of units over on this left-hand side. We've got ourselves some fresh units of T-64 BBs. These guys are pretty good. You got the 10 round per minute rate of fire, 2,275 meter range with 19 pen. You've also got the WARNO which is pretty good and decent front armor. They are assisted by some Motorstraki, so we're not completely at loss of infantry, although their recon is not too much. We're going to have to rely on a lot of recon from our auxiliaries and support units. Then further back there is some BMP-2s, which are supported by some less armoured T-64s, but these just don't have explosive reactive armour basically. And then there's some more artillery there. We've got Akatsayas there, we've got some Akatsayas there, they've got some Kubs. In terms of the leader units, we're looking at more T-64s. On the front, more BVs. These are all BVs. Some MLRS. We've got some Grads. Oh, that's going to be fun. When you get the big Grad set up, like big groups of Grads set up, it's really, really fun. Loads and loads of T-64s. Absolutely tons of them. It's crazy. Okay. Well, back here we have some helicopter units. These seem pretty strong. Loads of Mi-24s. They're going to be handy. I've also got some anti-tank. So Rapiers, BRDMs. There's another command unit there, as well as the airborne, the Desoniki. Okay, further back, Ochrani. So these are like reserves, I guess. And then we've got some aircraft, MiG-25s, supported by MiG-23 fighters. So this is MiG-25 RBF bomber with SEED. And then we've got some more AA, as well as even more AA. So it's just mostly air-to-air in our aircraft with the MiG-29s there supporting. Over on this right-hand side, things are damaged by the looks of things. But we do have some pretty decent units, some T-80BVs. Very nice 19 penetration with a Cobra with 19 pen at 2,625 meter range. It's not quite as good as the Agona, I don't think, that the T-64s have, but still a decent ATGM and will allow us to keep the enemy tanks at a distance. But yeah, 2,275 meter range, 65% accuracy, really not that bad. It's just, as you can see, we are missing a few units here and there, and especially in this one, for example, we've lost the BRM-1Ks already. Our recon units are going to be really important, and having some being lost straight off the bat is really bad. So we're going to be incredibly reliant on these artillery units to provide them, and also this recon battalion. Actually, I'm going to probably scoot that over. Okay, we'll have a quick look at the enemy forces. I don't think there's too much more that I've missed here. I mean, there's some infantry units that are using BMP-1s. They're supported by BRDMs. Plenty of interesting compositions. But yeah, we'll have a look at the British forces. So they've got Chieftain Mark 9s, Chieftain Mark 6s, and loads of challenges. Those challenges are all max veterancy as well. I mean, everything that the enemy is going to have is going to be max veterancy anyway, because we're playing on elite difficulty, so do bear that in mind. But yeah, the Chieftain Mark 11s, these are no slouch. The Chieftain Mark 11s are still pretty scary. Decent gun, really decent gun. Yes, their armor's lacking in comparison to our T-80 BVs, but it's still going to be a tough engagement. Lots of rifles in there. They're going to be defending, as well as plenty of like Spartan MCTs, for example, with those Milans that are going to be able to keep us at a distance. The Milans are going to be a pain. Although they are a little bit shorter range, but the swing fire isn't 2,625 meters, and that's got 60% accuracy because of its veterancy, so that's something to be wary of. But there's the Germans there as well, just a standard Panzer Grenadier division. We'll probably see more of that. So our objective is Hanover, and we're obviously going to be trying to push through these three axes of attack. So I guess what we can do to begin with is maybe start punching into these tanks. We can move up enough here to make attacks straight away, so I am tempted to do so. Let's just get into it, shall we? We will probably drive like so. And we can also do the same here. So make sure we go there, here. Not sure which one I want to use. Obviously something's going to be used as sort of a reinforcement or like a sort of backup defense. So they can stay there, for example, with 4 action points. So if we get attacked next turn, that's always going to be able to defend. Just shift my artillery up a little bit. Same down here. I should make sure and just see if there's anything that's going to be close enough to help defend. Like these can just sit there. Both of these are going to be on 5 action points, so we will sit one closer on 8 action points. That's perfect. Then AA can move up. It's going to be important that we deploy this AA. Artillery is fine there. I think what we can do is have this unit, which is BMP-2s plus some T-80Bs, start shifting up towards Paine. Or if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Actually, we may want to fall back a little bit there. Don't want to get too ahead of myself. Now this rocket unit, I can move all the way up. That's fine. I'm not convinced that I want to keep this unit on the right on its own. We'll start shifting across a little bit. I might just do that slowly. If they get attacked, that would be unfortunate. I'm going to bring one of these helicopter units over to the right. And I think what we need to do here is we could probably have a bunch of these push straight up to this objective, and then these tanks can start heading over here. I was hoping they would be able to get a bit further, but we'll have to be cautious about how far we go so that I make sure I can reinforce myself. You can see more of the German units, Leopard 1A5s. Okay. Let's stop messing about. I think first things first, we just smash straight into the tanks. And I will bring up probably this unit of Akatsuya if there is more of them. Okay. Not sure what their AA is looking like, but we could maybe bring in the MiG-25 RBFs as well, as there's a good chance that their AA is not set up yet because we go first. So this will give us a chance to use those in battle. A very open map. This is going to be an interesting one. A full-scale tank fight at the start of this campaign. And the map is interesting because it's not an easy one by any means. You know, we've got to push into Anna and then like hold at the bridges, and then also push round to center without getting wrecked from across the river. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Okay. But what this battle is basically going to look like is a lot of T-80BVs attacking the enemy. We'll start with these ones with a T-80BK, which I'm going to have to be super careful with because they will target the T-80 leader first. I could also try and get some ATGMs on target. We can, of course, use the tanks for that, but having some infantry with ATGMs as well is always pretty nice for these situations. I'm going to do the same over here. And the other thing that I need to do is make sure that I have supply ready and waiting to repair and rearm these units. It's going to be super important. Big tank battles incoming. I'm actually really looking forward to this. I'm also a bit apprehensive, I would say is the correct term, because I don't know how this is going to go at all. It could go very badly if we take some bad side shots or something. Need to be super careful with this recon, for example. Otherwise I'll just be completely blind. I'm going to bring in some Akatsuya. I think they did bring in the artillery, so I'll put these on counter battery. We're also working with the new setup mechanics for artillery. The artillery rework has come in. My old save didn't have that. This save will do. We must be cautious. And off we go. The tanks are rolling out. That's going to be their recon. I think what I'm going to want to do is set up a little bit further back here. And try and get a leader in ASAP. We definitely need to get a leader into center. That's going to be hard to get away with, I think. Losing line of sight there is really bad. We might just tank a shot for free. Okay, good hit by the BV. Going to bring up some BMP2s on that side. I'm going to keep advancing on the right. Okay, here's the first tank engagements. That's got a tracks broken. We do have the advantage of rate of fire, because when we lose cohesion, we still have the autoloader to hold our hand, so that's nice. We don't want to move too far forwards. I'm going to start shifting the T-80 BVK over to the right. Start shifting these back. These are on counter battery already, so we should be engaging there ASAP. And I want to keep Yugoro alongside me. I will need to be a bit cautious of this bridge. They can, of course, just like cut across. Really bad. Okay, good that we're contesting that at least. Good kill by the counter battery. Perfect. We're going to want to fill the gap a little bit. I'm going to bring up some T-80 BVs that can sit in the middle with the BRDM-2. I'm going to start shifting and trying to get into center. And I probably want to make sure that my BMP comes with me. There could be infantry in these buildings, so we need to be careful about. Okay. Not entirely sure how I'm going to get these forwards. It may come down to using some smoke just to get me across the gap. Ooh. HGM into the side. That is the swing fire that was there. This is what I was worried about, where the AI will focus down the leader first always. Gotta take care of that first. Good. Now we can pull some range. A bit of a mistake on my part already losing that leader because we're not able to contest now as easily as we would have been before. And my tanks are back on their feet on this side at least. Yeah, these HGMs are going to be a pain for me to deal with, but as soon as we can, I think what we should do is get some more artillery that can sort of fire at will and take out any HGMs that fire. My Mortars Vertigo is slowly moving up, and we can be a little patient with this. I don't want to let them get away with it too much when it comes to the conquest. We don't want to be left in a tough position. I'm going to start moving up the T-80 BVs here though, and if they don't get shot at, we can move the BRDM in. It would usually make sense to have the BRDM maybe go first because it's recon, but the issue is if it gets spotted, it's going to get one-tapped, and we don't have enough recon really to justify like sacrificing recon like that. So we'll let the tanks kind of move in first just to check for enemies, stuff that might be able to shoot us, and then we can move up the BRDM that will give us eyes. We can go from there. So these are on fire at will. Hopefully the Akatsayas will engage shortly. I'm just going to put these on hold fire or return fire. Oh, that's absolutely fine. Okay. BMP 1K3 is on its way. Challenges have arrived on the right hand side there. We did get a nice rear shot there. Didn't manage to finish it off. That was really good. Okay, we'll shift another TATBV there. There's a ferret. Gonna get some more recon over here shortly, but I think we need some infantry. We'll bring the recon from the artillery. Could probably use some of that on this side as well, just to kind of keep an eye on the left road. This has been a much more sort of restrained battle than I imagined it would be so far. We had the initial early engagement here where we ambushed this sort of column of tanks, and that went really well. But since then, it's been a bit quiet. Their leader's likely in the corner here. We can keep adding Akatsayas to the field, and eventually we can just smash the far side with artillery. Not being very lucky with those. I'm managing to get out of range. I'm going to have to be cautious about my artillery, because they're not moving after they're firing, so we're going to have to fix them up if they get hit. Fortunately for us, we seem to be hitting pretty well with our artillery. Look at the skybox there, looking lovely. Getting on top of the swing fire is important. Looks like there's enemies in the corner there as well. Okay, let's hit these assault pioneers with some artillery, and then we can take out the swing fire. We'll let that Northhaga move forwards. Do I have any more of those available? I do not. We're completely used up when it comes to recon now. I have to use it sparingly. We're hoping for direct hits there. Perfect. We can get in that building and then we can check buildings further up. I've got the MiG-25 hanging out. This has KH-58 seed missiles. I will still have to respect the javelins, but this is just for taking out any tracked rapier, FSAs. There's some AA there. The other thing that's good about these, they do still have 40% ECM, so that's helpful for sure. Okay, we'll move the Northhaga into the tower there, and then we can maybe sneak through with the T-80 and kill the swing fire. That's what I'm hoping to do. We are running out of time a little bit here. I'm gonna start kind of dropping artillery on the far side of the river there. Gotta respect that, of course. Have the BMP-2 move forwards. The BMP-1 into the corner. Okay, good. We need to take out that swing fire. Good. Okay, starting to get somewhere with this. Challenger might be a problem. If we can engage the Challenger at max range, it won't be. Good. I need these to get into cover. Scouts, we're spotting them. Good spot though. And the Challenger coming towards our rear. Starting to circle around. Okay, my Conkers was destroyed. I imagine that was artillery. Put these back onto counter battery. Oh, they're coming out of there. Gonna get hit very hard. Boom. Nice. And more supply, please. Okay, nice sort of methodical start. We did lose my leader, which was a tough opener for us, but otherwise, not so bad. I think the other thing that I need to be really sort of careful with is my infantry, because we only have a limited amount of it. And in order to keep these units of tanks effective throughout the campaign, they need to have infantry that they can push forwards with, especially in maps where, you know, there's less cover, or sorry, more cover. So yeah, we need to respect that for sure. Not lose too many of our assets in these early battles, because we got like 2 or maybe 3 lines of defense to break through. Taking out those scouts there is good, because those chieftains won't be able to see the T-80 in cover. I'm scared to move this Razvedka until I fix them up, because I feel like they're just going to get killed. Also, it might say that I'm low on ammo, but that's only because my Cobras have been used up in a lot of these T-80s. But otherwise, we are starting to pick them apart nicely. Yeah, this artillery has actually been fantastic. What supply does the artillery bring? Oh wow, only MTLBs? Really not a lot. Good kill on the rifles. Rifles are scary, they got lore 80s. So mustn't let them get too close. Yeah, these tanks have kind of been stalled. But I think what I'm going to do is we're going to try and move into that tree line to cover the bridge. I may be able to push onto this bridge if I have some more infantry join us. So we'll bring up some more BMP-2s. I'd like to get recon over on that side. Let's bring up the Euro. Okay, so we've still got a little ways to go. There's 100 more morale that we've got to destroy if we want to win. We got 33 minutes or 34 minutes to do that. of these MTLBs got soaked up very fast. The amount of shells we have is pretty limited in all of these artillery units. We do also have the access to the MiG-25 RBF. I shouldn't sleep on that either. If I ever see like a large amount of infantry, we can definitely smash them with those. The counter battery has been spot on though, which is really good. Otherwise, just more tanks will do nicely. Let's bring up some more. Could maybe get across these bridges. See that there is a tank in there. Kinda tempted to start arting there. Wonder if that was the only leader actually. Good kills by the Monostraki. The morale dropped to 50%. Might be a good target for the bombers as well. Have my seed just rock over here in case there is a radar AA in position. And then we can just do a couple of bombing strikes on these points. One dropped nicely. Second one didn't quite get there. Maybe got there a bit too soon. Really cool to have access to these. Beautiful. Oh, these T-80BVs just went straight across the middle. Well, that's certainly been a bit of a test for us. We can just follow them up then. May as well hold that position. How's our artillery doing? It looks like the enemy is reliant on abbots, so their counter battery is very lackluster. I'm just going to make sure that I clean out these areas with the Monostraki. Maybe start moving up the Razvedka. More infantry for these trees would be good. Being able to contest Boris as well would be nice. And further to all of that, having a group of tanks on this side would be good to push towards this town. We'll keep the Euro on this side and we'll just move the Monostraki close enough that they can grab some more ammo. BMP2 got popped there. Yeah, they're just all dying. We need to respect the chieftain. Get the T-80 into position. So if they're falling back here, we may be able to push our tanks to the edge. Be nice. You can see that those chieftains, they do have decent power. Like if they can one-shot a BMP2, think about what they would do to the side armor of the T-80BV. I would really like to get infantry in here ASAP, because we saw a challenger moving into the swamp area. So yeah, I need to make sure that's covered before we move up, because it's more like wetland than swamp. It's not really swamp. T-80s can shift across. We can get some nice shots in. Ferret there, going first and getting blown up. Here comes a bit more of an engagement. We're gonna have to smoke that one off. Not gonna risk it. We probably would have won that engagement, but it's not worth it.
Сделаем, товарищ командир. Впереди противник. По местам.
I'll send 2 of these in this direction towards the river, so you can kind of just move down the side of the wetlands, and should allow me to start moving up with relative safety.
Боекомплекта больше нет! Принял, сделаем. Жду ваших указаний. Обнаружил. Сделал его. Вперед! По местам! Я ранен. По вашему приказу взвод построен. Хорошо горит.
Did find some enemy in there. Like just military police though.
Работаю по квадрату. Впереди противник. Нам поворачивать?
I want to just bomb that.
Первым делом самолеты.
I'm not messing around with those swing fires. Thank you very much.
Товарищ командир. Начать движение. О контактах докладывать.
A good opportunity actually on this left side for more tanks, because if I can get them into this position, we can kill anything that moves up on that side.
Приготовиться к бою. Товарищ командир, я броня. Цель обнаружена. Жду ваших указаний. Я ранен.
And with the swing fire gone, the T-80s can move forwards a bit more aggressively. I've just got to remember they don't have smoke anymore.
Достань танки, грязи не боятся. Нас здесь всех перестреляют. Стой, сперва нужно осмотреться. Я ранен. День твой, пас на связи.
Oh, that's a green archer. Has the counter battery radar. You can just knock that out. Good side shot on the chieftain as well. Slow and steady wins the race, guys. They're getting there. And any time one of these fires, we're still getting a counter battery in, so we will have destroyed a lot of their artillery. These BMP-2s are using their amphibious capability to just stay at a distance from the tree lines whilst following the Motostraki through.
Обнаружен противник. Приготовиться к бою. По местам! День твой последний приходит, буржуй! Громко и четко.
Oh wow.
Задним
Yep.
ходом марш! Шире шаг.
We didn't have line of sight there, and we paid for it.
Я броня.
So Vidka needs to move up.
Торможу.
Challenger 2
По местам.
took out that T-80BV with ease. It looks like they have, yeah, they got a recon behind them, so
Танка к бою готов.
it's tough for us.
Торможу. Молодец, наводчик.
A good Challenger kill on the left.
Цель обнаружена. Молодец, наводчик. Еще бы чуть-чуть. И... Молодец, наводчик. Задним
Stun.
ходом марш. Товарищ командир. Движение на горизонте. Удивительно, значит победить.
Our artillery is pretty accurate at that range. One of my mortar strike, he got killed.
Жду ваших указаний. Достанем их из-под земли. К бою готов. Боекомплект пуст, товарищ командир. Броня на связи. Вперед! Ищем цели. Болванка в танк ударила.
Good.
Жду ваших
Okay.
указаний.
We're a little bit damaged here in the center, so let's bring up some more reinforcements.
Торможу.
Kind of light on supply now. Do I have any further back? That one's used up.
Ждем цели указаний. Молодец, наводчик.
This side, they're more or less used up.
Я броня. Цель обнаружена. Экипаж танка к бою готов.
Yeah, we'll have to be careful.
Готов к бою. Проверка. Развернем здесь наблюдательный пост.
Have that as Vidka move across.
Ищем цели. Я броня.
Pretty sure there's another tank in here somewhere.
Боекомплект
That
закончен.
guy is very low on health.
Торможу. По местам. Вперед! Огонь с коротких!
Surprised they're seeing that so quickly. Probably another recon there somewhere.
Готов нас потерять.
Ferrets engaging my mortar strike here. Go deal with that.
Движение на горизонте. Цель поражена. Броня на связи. Вперед! Ищем
We're
цели.
absolutely decimating their supply, so that's nice.
Командир, ложусь на курс. Товарищ командир, день твой последний приходит. Хорошо горит. Я броня. Цель обнаружена.
We're gonna bomb that javelin. Might end up killing that military place as well.
На связи.
The javelin has a really short range, so
Выполнить начать. Понял. Меняю позицию.
not much to worry about.
Жду новых указаний.
Make sure I'm not flying directly overhead. Only 5 more morale to go,
Бою. Вперед!
and that's the first total victory, I think, that we'll be having in this campaign, and hopefully not the last.
Экипаж танка к бою готов. Встаем назад. По местам. Молодец, наводчик. Торможу. Экипаж танка к бою готов. Движение. Аты-баты, Шлиссел. Начать движение. Царица Полис слушает.
One more kill. There it is. Well, yeah, that was okay. Considering the terrain and then getting across that river, it wasn't too bad. We absolutely annihilated the abbots, and I think we took out quite a lot of the chieftains and challengers. So very strong. A good fight for us. We did lose 2 T80BVs and a T80BK. So got caught out a little bit there. That swing fire caused me problems. But otherwise, BMP2s are okay. It's just the two Monostraki and the Conkers. No recon units lost. That's probably the most important thing to note. Big hits there. Big hits. And these guys also reinforced. So they've taken massive fatigue. Huge. Alright, well, that was a solid start to this campaign, and unfortunately it has been my time, so I'm going to leave it there. But moving on, we will have more attacks to make. It seems like we'll be smashing the Royal Anglian Regiment here, 2nd Battalion. Got loads of lovely tanks ready to push through. That's like one more battle at least, and then we'll just see if there's much resistance on this left side. Go from there. Alright, well, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this start to the campaign, and hopefully you're happy with my choice of campaign for WARNO. But that's it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.